Couch family. This is Stanley and Otito, and we are doing something we want to call
a relational myth buster.
Busters.
Myth busters.
Gotcha.
Something we've always kind of taken almost like for granted, but now you have evidence, you have knowledge, and you're like,
this might not be
so
true.
Why was I thinking this in the first place, right? So
who's going to shake the table?
I know, right? Because that's what we Nigerians will say, like, this might be a table shaking session, right, as it were. And so what's the top? We're in February, so we're kind of still talking about this concept of love. So we're thinking about this idea of, to sleep together or not. And by sleep together,
in the same room. Let's clarify that. As just this idea of,
I know, right?
married couples have to sleep in the same room together.
Yep.
And group. I should say, when I first got married, I thought, especially when the in-laws and friends and relatives were around, you always wanted to stay in the same room, because if you didn't stay in the same room, it meant that something was going down, there was a fight going on. So even if it meant sleeping in the small koro of this thing without the duvet, or did I say blanket, you sure stayed in there and you squeezed yourself in there one way or another. But who made that rule?
I don't know, but I again, you have to think about it from a cultural perspective, right? This is presuming that you have the space to move to another place, right?
If you can't stay in the same place, right?
Yes, yes. So that's, there's that presumption there, and so if that option is available. And so the question is to be or not to be. And again, we say it's contextual, right? Because think about a marriage vow. You've said
for better, for worse,
in sickness and in health, right? So sometimes we're thinking that's where another party is sick, but
not with COVID. Not with COVID. Let's keep that aside.
With COVID, you have to fight, so you have to isolate. But I'm even saying this idea of your partner's sleeping habits can actually make you sick if you don't get enough sleep.
Which one of these habits are we talking about? Are we talking about wingspan?
I know, right? You take
about
the whole bed.
Or are you talking about
both? Anything that causes the princes and the princess peas, right, not to have a good night's sleep, right? Because sleep is important. I cannot stress enough how much sleep is important. I know not everybody needs the same levels of sleep, but quality sleep is important.
I'm just going to take a break here and say that in this question of snoring, it is not I. You need to catch me on video to prove that it is I.
No, okay. I mean, I don't think so. I wasn't saying that, but I'm just saying those would be the two main reasons, right? Why people may say, oh, they don't want to stay in the same room, because some people have gotten to that point of, I just need my own space. I need to get good quality sleep, right? So we're basically saying that there's nothing wrong with that. That's the myth busting here.
Exactly. So essentially, if you need to go to the couch, if you need to go to another room to get your quality 6 or 7 hours, or 5 or 6.
Because evidence has shown that the person who is working or driving without enough sleep is equivalent to like
the drunk
like a drunk driver, right? Because you're not operating at your maximum. So imagine doing that like night after night after night. So my thing is, free yourself.
I'm sorry, what was that? I didn't hear that.
Free yourself.
Oh, okay, got you.
Free yourself. You heard it here first. But I think coming from a scriptural, cultural perspective, right? So you think about where it says somebody went in to someone to know them, right?
So I guess that presupposes that there was some movement from one point to another.
Yeah, from one living quarters to another, or where you summon someone, right? I mean, that's for kings and queens. Well, kings summoning queens, but this idea that there were separate living quarters, right? So that's from that culture in that day, and I think even till today, there's no reason why men and women should. I mean, not let me not say there's no reason, but in that culture, they don't do it, right? So for them, it's a given. So I sometimes wonder why we now, right, as, I guess,
modern day,
would I say Christians, or I don't know, the part of the world that we come from, right, where we're saying you have to be in the same room, otherwise there's something wrong. I don't know how we got that into our psyche,
but that's where we are.
To the point of almost becoming dogmatic, where if people hear that, there's how
wrong.
Your husband allowed it, your wife allowed it, like, how's that working out for you? It can work out for you if you want to, right?
But since we're in the area of scripture and prayer, if there's a snoring problem, you can always pray for your spouse to stop.
There's always room for miracles,
bedroom miracles at that.
So I mean, that's kind of what it is when we say to be or not to be. Contextual. Do what's working for you, and don't feel guilty about it. I think that's the
big thing.
The big thing. Yeah. Okay.
Don't feel guilty about getting your sleep. Sleep is
essentially do what you have to do for the health of your spouse's health, and the health of the marriage. Actually, because you don't want a cranky person around you because they didn't get enough sleep. Right? So, yeah.
So that's it for MythBusters. Don't forget to
like,
subscribe and share.
And we'll see you next week, right, for a guest episode, hopefully. Yeah. So, bye for now.